Alright, guys, we're going to be taking a look at the Dragon Generations Path teaser number 4, and this is going to show us the paths that, well, at least one of the paths for two different races, but we're going to be seeing the Android path, which I think y'all have an idea depending on what I do with the thumbnail, and the bio android path, which is a pretty interesting thing that they're doing. It's not something I didn't think they were going to go down that route at all. So let's go ahead and check it out. I'm gonna go ahead and let me make sure it's not too loud.
Man once said, "You're either perfect or you're not me."
Alright, so alright, he's in imperfect form. There we go, we got him in perfect form.
Okay. Shall I plunge you into a world of despair then? Or would you rather be killed quickly?
And yes, this is a god form, guys. This is literally a Super Saiyan God bio android. Now, I'm kind of surprised that they went down this route instead of just going straight down to the golden route for Cell, or the orange route for Cell, or something like that. Honestly, we don't even have a giant form for the bio android either, right? We don't have a bio android giant form. Like, they could have totally done that, which, yeah, having the first path of, like, the first stage of the bio android path being bio like Cell X, which, it would have been a bit annoying because that would have been like the strongest form you could get to, and you can't really change your path. But I think they should make, like, at least like an ascension path or something like that. So I'm gonna explain how paths work here in a second, but let's just go ahead and check this out, because there's been a lot of confusion as like what paths are and how they're categorized. So other people can give you a better explanation, especially like Bobby. Bobby can give you a better explanation as to how paths work and like how they're categorized. But I have a bit of a grasp as to how they are. So yeah, let's just continue watching this real quick. But yeah, a Cell X form would have been nice to have, like, a giant form, where, like, it's the y'all know the one for where I'm where like it's from Dragon Ball Heroes, and he just grows like super big and basically becomes like a oversized cockroach, quite literally. It's ironically. So yeah, that's the form I was talking about. There's also the Cell Max. I don't know. Would they ever do a Cell Max form? Maybe not as like paths, but maybe like Ascension. I don't know. It's a concept, but I don't know if they're gonna go down that route. It's because I would like to also see a golden form at some point, but I don't know what they would do after like the golden form. Like, would you just change the exoskeleton of like how you look during the golden form or something? Like, I don't know. It's a concept, so I got no clue. But we also Jesus, we also should get, like, at some point should get like a bio android dedicated version of the of a bio android path, where it's not taking from something else, but it really just looks like it's bio android based. So I don't know, maybe something like fan made. Like I know there is some fan made stuff. I know there's like one of those like Xenoverse 2 mod videos where it shows like Gohan going up against the like grown up Cell Jr. or something like that. I don't know.
Perhaps you're someone worthy of my
Yes.
attention. Whatever. I'll see what this Majin business is all about. Might be worth a chuckle or two.
And here we go,
Don't
guys.
have to worry.
Cream
I'll
of the
gladly
crop
devour
here.
Anyone who mistreats nature. I can count on you to help me do that, can't I?
I made an Android slot specifically for this. It changes your clothes too? No, wait, no. Does it seriously just change your clothes? If so, that's a nice little touch. If not, like, I have the Android 21 outfit, so I can just change it anyway, but, like, does it really do that? I know the glasses seem to have stayed on, so I assume it does. So, I mean, that's... Like, I looked through this before, but I was like, does it change the clothes, or do you change the clothes yourself, or something like that? I don't know. But I really like that they're finally showing us the Android path, where it's literally the Android 21 path, like the Majin path. Yeah, Bobby's live, so let's go ahead and get back to the well, not back to, but we're gonna let's get into the video where we talk about paths and kind of get into an explanation of what paths are. Okay, guys, so now we're going to pretty much explain what paths are and what you should expect from these certain paths. Alright, so let's just get into the explanation of like what paths are categorized and like what they are. So we got general paths. So there's a lot of confusion with general paths. People think general paths are just something that are like is like Ultra Instinct and Ultra Ego. There's a lot of confusion about that as well, so I'm gonna go ahead and clear that up. Ultra Instinct and Ultra Ego are not general paths. General paths are essentially like racial paths, except with general paths, yeah, you choose that path, that's the path you're locked to, but it is a type of path that is available to every single race. So, in other words, God of Destruction path, they already announced it, every race is getting it, but it is going to be a general path. It's not going to be just something that you can just pick up and then boom, bada bing, bada boom. You can just go ahead and be Super Saiyan 4 or go Golden or something like that. No, you have to pick one or the other. Now, Ultra Ego and Ultra Instinct, however, are going to be Ascension paths. Ascension paths are essentially basically the best of the best, like they're the best transformation. So think of it like Ultimate Form. All right, think of it like Ultimate Form. It is a transformation that you can just pick up at any time. So it's like Ultimate Form, Babidi's Mind Control, Kaioken, and Blue Kaioken. It's like those like you basically can think of like Kaioken, Blue Kaioken, Babidi's Mind Control as Ascension paths as well, technically speaking, because it's a path that you're not going to be restricted from getting at any point in time. Now, racial paths. Now, let's just get this out of the way. Not every race is going to have like multiple paths. They're at least going to have one path. At the very least, they're going to have at least one path to choose from. However, not every race is just going to get multiple paths, and not every race is going to have multiple stages of certain paths, just because it's not like some races, like with Yardrats. Like, what do we really have for Yardrats? Connassans too. Like, what do we have for Connassans? Right? Don't really have much. So at the very least, they might just get like a 3-stage paths. The Rosé path might get a 4-stage. I don't know. Here's the thing about the Rosé path. So I'd expect that they start with Rosé, and then there's like Rosé 2, there's Super Saiyan Rosé 3, and then there's the next transformation after that, and that's Super Saiyan Rosé Full Power, where you get more buffed up, you grow your eyebrows back, you keep the Super Saiyan 3 hair, and you grow your tail out. That's the Super Saiyan Rosé form. That's the whole path right there. Just one and done. That's the one from the Heroes continuity. That's from Dragon Ball Heroes. Now, Super Saiyan 4. Now, Super Saiyan 4, like we already know, like they're planning on doing Super Saiyan 4 as like just the very start. We're not getting Golden Grade Ape. That like at some like with the weight of getting the transformation, we might have to go Golden Grade Ape, but that's not confirmed. So take that with a grain of salt. But I would like to see at some point in the Primal Path for Saiyans, I would like to see Super Saiyan 4 Limit Breaker Full Power, or Super Saiyan 4 Full Power Limit Breaker. You know, one of those, however you want to call it. I want to see that transformation. It's this transformation here, which I'm gonna pop up on the screen. That's the transformation I want to see. Now, obviously, I also want to see Super Saiyan 5. You know, obviously, I think Super Saiyan 5, and then if they want to do like a Super Saiyan 5 Limit Breaker just to add like another stage to it, you know, then there's that as well. But I don't know. There's really not too much that they can do aside from Super Saiyan 4 and Super Saiyan 5. Other than like if they do like Super Saiyan 4 Full Power, make that like a separate transformation, which I don't know if they would do that. But Super Saiyan 4 Full Power Limit Breaker, I think would still be like its own transformation. I think would be a stage somewhere in the forms. Now, for God, I mean, Alright, so the God Path for Saiyans, it's pretty self-explanatory. It already has, like, several transformations that you can start with. There's Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Blue, and Super Saiyan Blue Evolution. You got 3 stages right off the bat. If they were to add a 4th stage, then what would it be? Well, we got the Universal Tree Super Saiyan Blue. We can go the fan-made route where we have like Super Saiyan Blue 3 or some shit. So there's that as an option. They can go Omni Super Saiyan God. You know, the one from the Anime Wars or whatever it's called. I forgot the name. It's been a while since I've seen that. But they can do that form. You know, there's so much they can do right there. Like, they got options. Now, the Legendary Path. The Legendary Path, they said they're going to start out with the Wrathful form. So, we're not going to get the Legendary Super Saiyan, like, right then and there. We're going to get Wrathful, and then I assume Legendary Super Saiyan. And then maybe at some point we can get, like, Legendary Super Saiyan 2 and Legendary Super Saiyan 3. I don't know. Depends on how they want to go down that route. If they want to go the DBS route, then it just be, you know, Wrathful, you know, Super Saiyan, and then full power Super Saiyan, or legendary Super Saiyan, however we want to call that form. But I think legendary Super Saiyan 3 would just be a bit more desirable for those who want to go down the legendary route. So I don't know, they could make it a 4-stage where it's Wrathful, legendary Super Saiyan, legendary Super Saiyan 2, and then legendary Super Saiyan 3 or something like that. Something along those lines. Now, from what I'm being made aware of, it doesn't seem like Hybrid Saiyans are going to be able to get the God forms. They're going to get the Primal forms, but as far as the God forms are concerned, I was told that they aren't getting it. Why? I don't know. But they can make the argument like, oh, Hybrid Saiyans can't get the Super Saiyan God form, even though we literally have Super Saiyan God Trunks pop up the image on screen. That is an official transformation from Dragon Ball Heroes that Trunks is able to get a hold of. So, yeah. I think Hybrid Saiyans should get God forms, but for those of you who are Hybrid Saiyans and they can, if they, like, once they pull out all the paths and show, like, what Hybrid Saiyans are able to, ascend to, if they really aren't getting the Hybrid Saiyan path, then Hybrid Saiyan path. If they really aren't getting the God form path, then it's. I just don't get your hopes up, but I do think Hybrid Saiyan should get the God path, just because it would make sense for them to get it. Just because we already have a Hybrid Saiyan who can go Super Saiyan God in multiple cases. Now, some people were saying we should get an Ultra Super Villain path, or a Dark Dragon Ball Boost path, or a Dark Dragon Ball Fusion path. Those do sound cool, but I don't think they would be paths. I think they would more or less either be Ascension forms, or simply just power-ups, which are the closest thing to Ascension forms, because you can just pick those up at any time, and you're not restricted to not getting one or the other. So, yeah. Again, while Kaioken may not be classified as an Ascension path until they say otherwise, it is like an Ascension path where you can pick it up at any time you want, and you're not going to be restricted from getting anything else. So, yeah. Just to clear up any confusion. So, unless they say otherwise, Kaioken isn't really an Ascension path. It's really just something that's like an Ascension path. It's just a basic path. So, yeah. But as far as, like, the Dark Dragon Ball Boost and the Dark Dragon Ball, like, Infusion, where, like, they have it in their chest and shit like that, or just, like, a Super Villain Boost, or a Dark Key Boost, or something like that. Something from either, like, Heroes, Legends, or Xenoverse. I don't think they would be their own paths. I think they would just be power-ups that you can just get at any time you want, if they were to ever add that to the game. But again, that's just a concept. I'm not really going to confirm anything. Alright, so now let's get down to the new paths that we were shown, which is the Bio Android and Android paths. So Bio Android, I am actually kind of fascinated that they're going down the Super Saiyan God route. So that means we're gonna get like Super Saiyan Blue and Blue Evolution for Bio Androids. But what else could we get? I think we should get like a golden form for Bio Androids. I think that would just make sense, just because like if they can go into Saiyan transformations, they can clearly go into Frieza's transformations. So, I mean, what's really to stop them from doing that? Which, for those of you who don't know, like, the Super Perfect form is basically the Super Saiyan 2 of a Perfect Cell. So, yeah. So, he can access Saiyan transformations, as we see with how they're doing with the paths, but again, I think we should get some like Frieza style transformations too. Like, I think that would still be on the table. And yeah. And as far as some like Bio Android original paths, where it's like they become like some sort of amalgamation, like Bobby was trying to say, like their ascension path could literally just be an amalgamation where they just become like a freak of nature or something like that. I mean, they could either make that an actual path, or I don't know. It's It depends on. It would kind of just depend on what would be the other paths. Like, again, you know, I think the other path for Bio Android would be the golden forms, but again, that's if they decide to go down that route, which I don't see a reason why they couldn't. But yeah. Androids. Now, we don't really have a Super 13 style transformation, which you can argue that the legend form is, but in my opinion it really isn't, simply due to the fact that it, like, all you do is just get buffer and you just get a red aura, but you don't really get anything, you know, beyond that. So they could do a path like that for those who don't want the Majin path, but let's just face it, people are going to want to go down the Majin path. And the Majin path, I think, is the best option, in my opinion, just because, again, I made this concept some time ago where I said they should have made, like, a female Bio Android path where you can, you know, make an Android 21 if you wanted to. But they didn't want to go down that route. They didn't want to add a whole new gender and make completely separate forms just for that. So I think the Android route for like the Majin route for the Android paths would really just make sense, because it would save them the trouble of literally making a whole new race just so people can play as Majin 21. Now you can just play as Majin 21 whenever paths come out, because, yeah, paths are a thing now. You know, once they come out, they're a thing. Anyways, again, we already know what forms to expect from the Majin path. So at base, we're getting 3 stages for each racial path. So for Majin androids, I guess we'll just call it, there's the one we were shown, which is, you know, the good 21 form. We have the evil 21 form, and then there's the transformed evil 21 form, which is where she eats Cell and then powers up. That's the form I'm talking about. Y'all know? Yeah, it's her final form. Okay. Now, if they were to add a 4th stage, I guess they could do something like they did with the legend form for Majins, where she purifies and becomes like a blue version of herself, where like she gets whited out like irises and her eyes like stay blacked out, where it's like it looks more Majin like. So it's a concept, but if they were to add a 4th stage, they could go down that route. So there's that option. Now, if we were to get another path for androids, which, again, each race is at least getting 1 racial path, so gotta keep that in mind. If we were to get another path for androids, Super 13 would be something that, because we don't really have the animation of, like, absorbing the parts and, like, becoming big, buff, blue, and shit like that. You know, hair turns completely, like, red and shit, well, reddish orange, and stuff like that. So we don't really have that. We just, for the legend form, we really just turn buff and get a red aura. That's really just it. So yeah, keep that in mind. Now, I've already stated what we can get with the Kais, which is with the Rosé, because that's going to be a Kai specific form. The way to get it, I think, would be with Space Dragon Balls, and there's going to be like a new wish that is going to be like exclusive to Kais that you can, say, I want to have the power of a Saiyan, and then you turn into a Saiyan, and then it unlocks a Super Saiyan Rosé form. I heard that they weren't gonna just automatically start with Rosé, but I don't know. Because if it literally just changes our race, but if we keep our like passive ability and we get like a whole new passive ability, because again, with the paths, we are going to be getting new passives. So like with Super Saiyan God, they can make it to where we get like passive healing as we charge, kind of like how Bio Androids have it and stuff like that. So with Kais, I don't know, they could make it to where the more damage you take, so it's basically like the Saiyan passive, where the more damage you take, the more like buffs you get. So you deal more damage as you take damage. So yeah, that's it's gonna be interesting to try to figure that out. If it does like legitimately just change our race, what would happen to our Kai transformations? Like, would we keep our Kai transformations that we worked our asses off to get, or would we just simply be able to like just have our Kai transformations, and then we have our ultimate form, we have our and then like you just get a bonus of like having access to like Saiyan transformations or something like that. I don't know. We won't know until we see it is the problem. So yeah, we gotta wait until we can actually see the forms and see the method of like what we're starting out with. How's it gonna work? How's the wish gonna work? Because again, the wish is literally just you change into a Kai. Like, no, you change from a Kai into a Saiyan. Excuse me. So, again, it's I don't know. It's something that we won't know until we see it, like for certain. So, yeah. Okay, so demon paths. All right, so people were saying we could get a path like Mechikabura again. Mechikabura is not a demon, he's a Kai. So if anything, if we were going to get something like that, we were going to get, demon god transformations. But you also have to consider, we're not going to be getting the evil Kai transformations for demons. Because again, Mechikabura is not a demon, he is simply a Kai. Remember that. That's been established for a while now. So, yeah. But for demons, we already know we're getting the demon god transformations, and we're getting the experimental transformations, which would be something akin to like we have with Mira. Demon god transformations would be, I think they said they wanted to add something like Mechikabura has, where not Mechikabura, Demigra. Demigra is the one I wanted to talk about. Something like what Demigra has, which, like, his Mielka, whatever form that is, I'll pop it up on the screen. It's like his, it's like he looks like he just gets smaller, and it's like, yeah, it is like, nah. It's, the name of it is just, I hate saying it. It's so confusing to me. It fucking tongue-ties me. But yeah, we could get that, or we can get something like similar to what Toa gets, where like your hair gets longer and you get like a bang, so kind of similar to Super Saiyan 3 in a way, but you get like demon markings like around your eyes, around your face, somewhere around your body you get some demon markings, depending on like what body type you pick, what face you pick, what hairstyle you pick. Stuff like that. So we could see something like that I think something like what Demigra has as well could be considered, but like, would that really be a demon god path, or would that just, I don't know. It's I got no idea. They gotta like pick and choose with what they're doing with that whole concept. But I think something like what we have with Few and because think about with Few doesn't really have like any god forms. Like, he kind of basically has the forms like the Dark Warrior form, where his hair spikes up and his eyes like get redded out. So there's that, but you also have his Dark King form, which I guess would be a god form for demons, where you essentially become like I don't know. And then there's also the Dogi Dogi transformation, where he gets smaller, younger, and stuff like that, and he gets markings around his face, and he grows the Dogi Dogi wings out of his back. So yeah, there's that as well. But again, I don't know if they're gonna go down that route. And let's get back to Kai's as well. So for Kai's, I think we should get at least not just the Rose path, but there's 2 more paths I think they should be getting, and that is the Dark King path, I guess you could call it, or the Evil Kai path. And then there's the Power of Time Unleashed path, so the Supreme Kai of Time path, or something like that. So I don't know. For the Supreme Kai of Time path, like, yeah, that's gonna be something that they're gonna have to figure out. Like, okay, so let me just pop up an image right here. So that's what Supreme Kai of Time looks like whenever she ascends to that form. And then Eos, I think her name is, also has that form, so there's that as well. But she's the Supreme Kai of Time before Cronoa, which is our current Supreme Kai of Time, took the position. So yeah, if they go down the Supreme Kai of Time path, like, they would have to kind of like get a bit creative. Like, you know, they can do it like where it changes to where your halo like changes to where it's like blue or something like that, and then whenever you like get into the 3rd stage, like the halo around you becomes more like a clock where the hands are moving and stuff like that. So yeah, they could definitely do that. I think that would be a cool path, but I don't know. They're already almost finished with paths, so I don't know if they already worked on something like that or not. So yeah. And then with the Dark King / Evil Kai path, again, it would be more or less like Mechikabura, so there would have to be like some like multiple different stages. So it'll be like Mechikabura in his first stage of like ascending back into his power, like when he regains his power. And then we got the Dark King with the Power of Time Unleashed form, where he grows the, you know, big ass hands, and like the blotches of area where it was red, it turns black, and you know, his hair extends to where it's like the Super Saiyan 3 hair. And yeah, that's the best I can kind of think of with that. I'll pop up an image right here that'll like be as a reference. And then I guess we could go like the Demigra route, because again, Demigra is a Kai as well. He just simply like he was an evil Kai that decided to take on the title of Demon God. So like, yeah, he's a Kai. Big surprise. He's a fucking Kai. Even though he's called Demon God, Demigra, he's a fucking Kai. That's part of his lore. But yeah, they could do something to where like the 3rd stage would be something like what we see at the end of the Tournament of Time arc, which I'll pop up an image right here. Which the images are probably gonna be like something from Dokkan as well, because we do have the units in Dokkan. So yeah, if they look like they're from Dokkan, then that's where I got the images from. Alright, video's kind of getting a bit long here, so I'm gonna try to attempt to cut it a bit short. But Namekians, we already know we're getting the Dragon Path. So we could see something like we, turn red, like we see with like Porunga and, well, Ultimate Porunga and Ultimate Shinron. We could also see something similar to like Dark Shinron from the Dragon Ball Heroes stuff. So there's that. Other than that, there's also, but Ultimate. So here's the thing: we could get like a Power Awakening form, but like here's my whole thing on that. Ultimate form already has Power Awakening on it. So what are they gonna do with the Orange Piccolo transformation? Are they gonna make it a path? Or are they just gonna simply make that an ascension, like with Beast, like with the Beast transformation? Like an ascension form, like Orange Piccolo gets an ascension form. Like, what are they gonna do with that? Because technically speaking, the Power Awakening form that we see, like the ultimate form that we see in the game, is literally Power Awakening. Like, you can look at it and see it clearly is. So that's my question. What are they gonna do with Orange Piccolo's form? That's like, we could get like a red Namekian form. We could also get like a Namekian God path or something like that. I don't know. Just I don't know. With ultimate form in the pictures, like it takes away a potential path, but like I don't know. Does it take away a potential path, or it's like, I don't know, man. Like it's just something that you kind of just gotta consider here. Because since we technically have Power Awakening Piccolo's transformation, like, what do we do with the Orange Piccolo transformation? Because that's like, that takes away 2 stages. Well, no, it takes away 1 stage from that potential path because Power Awakening, but like, there's only like 1 stage left for Piccolo, and they could have, if they would have made it to where Ultimate didn't really turn you into Power Awakening Piccolo, which again, I still think it's a cool concept, but it's like, I don't know. They could have made it to where, I don't know, man. Like, we already have Power Awakening in the game for Namekians, technically speaking, because of Ultimate form. But it's the Orange Piccolo transformation that kind of just gets me, because like we have to get that form at some point. That is like one of the coolest transformations that Piccolo gets, and it's a canon transformation to Dragon Ball Super. So yeah, just, I don't know, if they somehow figured out a way to do that, like maybe just make Orange Piccolo like an ascension path, you know, something like that, then yeah, then that would be ideal. But like, again, I don't know. Frost Demons, I've already stated, like, we should just get the basic like 3 stages. So we got Golden form, where it's like you're golden in your final form. We got the 5th form, where you're golden in your 5th form, like we see with Cooler, which, yeah, Cooler can go golden in Dragon Ball Heroes. And then Meta Cooler can also go golden, so there's 3rd stage. So yeah, you got Meta golden form. But the Black Frieza transformation, I think they might just simply make that a ascension path. I think they said something along the lines of making an ancestry path or something like that, but I don't know what that's gonna look like, and I don't know what it's entirely based off of. But we got that to consider as well. Now, Majins, I think Majins are going to be a bit difficult. I think they're going to be kind of difficult in a way similar to Tuffles, because Tuffles... One of the things that Majins have that Tuffles don't is the ability to absorb their opponents and take their stats. I think Tuffles should have something similar along the lines, not as a path, but as an ability, where they can pretty much infest into the target and essentially take their form, take their paths, and then they, like, if they're already transformed into a transformation, then they would essentially be able to stay in that transformation. But again, what, because, like, what are they gonna do with that? Yeah, that's kind of like the question here. Like, they could do like what we see in Heroes, where we got the Kamioran path, but, like, again, they have a giant form, so I don't know how I feel about giant forms being racial paths. Because, like, that just makes you, like, a huge target. Unless they make it to where, like, when you're in that form, like, you just become super, super fucking tanky. And you're able to just passively heal. And Majins, don't even get me started on Majins, bro. Like, there's not really a lot with Majins that we don't already have in the game. Yeah, so with Majins... Again, I don't know. They could do something like they take some aspect from, like, Heroes or Daima, where, like, in Heroes we have some sort of... I don't remember what the thing's name is, but he basically takes on a form similarly to that of Gogeta, where, like, just has, like, the hairstyle and shit like that, so there's that. We could also see something from Daima, where we see it from Majin Buu, where Majin Buu is able to mimic Super Saiyan 3. So we could get that as a path as well. But again, I don't know. Just, there's not really a lot to work with here. Because, like, what would come after that? What would come after either one of those two things? Like, they could make it to where they're one and the same. Like, make the Super Saiyan 4 looking one, like, either the second or third stage, which, again, at the base, like, at the very least, the paths should be getting, like, 3 stages, at least minimum 3 stages, maximum 4 to 5 stages, depending on what forms are available and what forms are not available. So, I don't know. It depends on what they go down, what route they go down with those forms, so... Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, Majins, I think... Majins and Tuffles, I think, have it the worst, because, like... Again, it's a concept of, like, what can they do with those forms? What can they do with those races? I don't know. Because, like, the forms, again, people will probably say, oh, we can get, like, the Ultimate Buuhan form. Is like... Yeah, but that's not really a form that you can just transform into it anytime you want. That's kind of... It's mainly just his ability of just absorbing people and their stats. So it's like, can you really call that a form? I don't think you can really call that a form. Like, no, don't get me wrong, it is a form, but it's like, can you really call that, like, an actual transformation that you can just tap in and out of, like, anytime you want? No, you have to absorb someone to get, you know, that desired transformation. That's the only way that's gonna work. So, like, the Buu tanks, like the Buiklo Buu tanks and Buuhan forms would not be their own dedicated path. That just, to me, that just wouldn't make sense. It really just wouldn't. Same thing with the Bujito path. Like, it wouldn't make sense, because, like, that's just absorbing a fusion. Like, like, if anything, I think absorbing a fusion would just make you stronger than what that form would make you. I mean, let's just be real. Fusions are busted in this game. So, absorbing a fusion and then being able to stack your own transformations on top of that, like, yeah, no, I think absorbing a fusion would be better than what that would be, especially if they give us the new paths, and we can just still absorb people and just still be able to access those transformations, which I don't see a reason why we couldn't. But yeah, again, and like I said, Yardrats, Connasans. I think Yardrats and Connasans really just have it the worst, because what really do they have? They don't really have anything. They don't really have anything to base it off of. It's just they exist. Like they have a path at least, because they're supposed to be at least doing like one racial path per race. So, and then there's also the general path, which is available to any races, even Connasans and Yardrats, who don't have really much to go off of. So yeah, I don't know, guys. It's just like Yardrats and Connasans really just have it the worst. They really just get shit on in general, just because Yardrats really just kind of serve the purpose of, like, you know, teach Goku and Vegeta instant transmission. Connasans serve the purpose of Connasans serve the purpose of, you know, giving Bardock his, like, future foresight vision, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and end it here. The video is getting a bit long here, so I'm gonna go ahead and end it here. But anyways, if you guys enjoyed this little concept video, do make sure to leave a like down below. Make sure to subscribe, as well as turn on notifications. And I will see you guys in the next video, which is hopefully something that is Dragon Generations related, because, you know, again, we haven't been doing a lot of Dragon Generations content, and I haven't really been playing the game all of last month, because, again, we've had to, if you guys don't remember or didn't hear about it, we had to do some moving recently, and, you know, yeah, that kind of just, I had to kind of put some stuff in the back burner. And then, not to mention, with stuff for, like, anniversary for Dragon Ball Legends and stuff like that, I kind of had to cover it, just because, like, it's Dragon Ball Legends. I mean, it's on my phone, it's something simple that I can kind of just do, so it's like, yeah. Anyways, I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.